Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Wednesday, April the 19th is race number 7 at Aqueduct. We're going a mile and a 16th on the turf. It's an entry-level allowance race for fillies and mares, and let's take a look at this field. Remember to head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com, download those free Formulator past performances, and handicap along with us as we take it in post-position order. The number 1 volatility index, Chad Brown, Arad Ortiz, expect her to take money.
I suspect that she will take money this race. Is she the morning line favorite?
5-2 on the morning line. I believe she is the favorite.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she was. Well, I guess we'll see what happens with her. Dan, I don't know what you thought of her debut. Listen, she ran fine in that Gulfstream race, but boy, she got a really good trip in that race. She sort of started going through the horses that were behind her. I don't think there was that much going on behind her in that race. I wonder if this is just going to be a lot tougher for her.
That was my main concern, that it seems like it's a pretty big step up in class. I wasn't a big fan of the race in general, the horses she beat in that event on January the 16th. I did like the tactical speed she showed. Yes. She's probably going to work out a good trip while saving ground under IRAD, but I think this is a pretty good entry-level allowance race with some promising horses. I might want someone at a better price. The 2 is Bargaining Table. Let me tell you, Bargaining Table loves Aqueduct.
That's what she really has going for her in this race. It does feel like for her, she's not a real, sort of allowance kind of horse. So she's going to have to run her very best race if she's going to win here. The positive for her is she seems like she always runs her best race on Aqueduct turf, and I think that's something that you really want to keep in mind this time of year. Horses that like this turf course will tend to show up and run, and a lot of horses don't do that. I think she's a contender just because of that.
We haven't seen her in 4 months when she finished 8th at Aqueduct, but that was over yielding ground, and I don't think she likes cutting the ground. Yeah. Her prior firm races, Aqueduct, even the race at Belmont 3 starts back, pretty good, but she's going to have to step it up a little bit because this is a stronger field than what she's used to facing. I really liked what Not Taken did sprinting. 3 starts back. She had to alter course very wide turning into the stretch. She finished well. I liked her a lot on November the 13th, and she only ran okay.
Yeah, I didn't like the trip she got so much on November 13th, though. I mean, I don't know that it made, a huge difference, like she was going to win, but it wasn't an ideal trip, just sort of, in some traffic through the stretch. I thought she had some trouble getting clear, and I thought that was a good performance for her, and I liked them getting back to turf with her because I don't like her dirt races that much. I like her turf races a lot more.
This is a horse that I'm going to fool around with underneath an exotic wagers. She has to deal with the layoff, but her trainer, John Terranova, is very underrated and does good work with these kind of horses. Plus, Not Taken's run pretty well fresh in the past. Yeah. The number 4 is Bombshell, a horse trying turf for the first time, but if you believe synthetic form transfers to turf, this horse is 1 for 1 on the poly.
Yeah, that's true. I actually like some of her dirt races since they got her to New York. She does sort of feel to me like she's more of a closing sprinter than anything else, which concerns me about this race. And the other thing is, she's a Bellamy Road, and there's not that much turf on the dam side of her pedigree. I really wonder if this is a good move for her.
The number 5 is Glory to Kitten, a horse that's just razor sharp. She has won her last 3 races, and she's now under the tutelage of Danny Gargan. Let's take a look at the formulator fact for Gargan. Over the past 2 years, 3-year-olds and up on turf, last out winners. He knows where to place his horses, 28% to $2.84 ROI. Glory to Kitten was able to get it done for Luis Ramirez, who is ice cold at Gulfstream. 3% trainer she was winning for. Now she's with 25% Gargan.
Yeah, I guess that can't hurt, although with her, I don't know what difference it really makes. Who trains her? I mean, her races are all good from day one, right from her debut last June, right through to her last race. They're all good, and they're getting better from start to start, and she can get any kind of a trip in a race, which I think is really a good thing for her. The one thing, and I like her in this race, I just think it's a really good spot for her. The one thing that bothers me about her, and I wanted to get your take on this, is after she breaks her maiden at Gulfstream, Maker and the Ramseys, they're pretty sharp guys. They just dump her right in for 35. I mean, she had run really well in her first 3 starts, and they were just kind of like, she's all yours, you can have her.
That's a little bit worrisome, especially this is the first time she's going to face some real competition. I didn't think she was facing the greatest horses of the world last time out for the starter 50, but she's sharp, she's got figs, and I think the most important part is, as you said, she can get the kind of trip. She can adapt to any kind of pace situation. She's very dangerous, and I think 8-1 on the morning line is very juicy.
If she's 8-1, I'm betting her.
She's my second pick in this race, and she's a strong contender. Madazaskar is the number 6. This is a mare that's really gotten good recently. She's won 2 out of her last 3 races on dirt. She's switching back to turf. She's proven on the surface, but we have a negative formulator fact, a rare one for trainer David Jacobson. Over the past 5 years, with older last-out winners moving from dirt to turf, only 1 for 26 with a 73-cent ROI. This mare gain some pace.
She does need some pace. We'll see what happens with her here. Listen, her turf form is fine. But it does sort of feel like once they went back to dirt with her, for whatever reason on the inner, I mean, she really upped her game in her last few starts. She was really impressive winning all three of those races, or could have won all three of those races. The one that she missed, she had a little bit of a trip in that race. I don't know. I don't really want to play her back on grass, but I like her recent form.
The key to the race could be the 7 Battlement, or whether Bill Mott has Battlement ready to go for her first start since the end of November. This is a 3/4 sister to Suffused, who's one of the better older filly and mare long-distance turf horses for Mott. She's getting Lasix for the first time. She kept okay company in Europe, and I just wonder if maybe with the addition of Lasix that she's found a good spot.
I think that's a reasonable way to look at it, Dan. I mean, her form over there was fine. It felt like right from the start, she just showed up and ran her race, so I'm not going to worry about the layoff too much with her. Lasix could help her. I think she's really dangerous, and I want to bet the other horse, the Gargan horse in this race, but I put this horse second. I'm worried about her.
Number 8 is Realistic, lightly raced, beautifully bred daughter of Tappet. She made her turf debut most recently at Tampa Bay Downs. I thought she ran okay to finish second. It seems like she's got a lot of scope for upside.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if she takes a step forward in here. Her turf debut was fine. She was on the outside the entire way, and the horse that beat her unfazed, that horse could be okay for Arnaud Delacour.
Smile Big is still a turf maiden, but she finished first in a turf race, a maiden claimer way back on November the 13th. She's been sharp for Rudy ever since the claim, but is she as good on this surface as she is on dirt? We know she'll be forward.
She's run some good races on turf, but I just feel like this is a tough spot for them to go back to Allowance Company with. I don't know that she's going to be able to handle this kind of a race.
The 10 is War Queen, also trained by Chad Brown. She finished third last time out at Gulfstream. She likes to make one run from the back of the pack. I'm assuming the plan for Manny Franco is just to take her back, try to save some ground going into the clubhouse turn, and hope there's some pace. She's slowly moving forward, but she's the kind of filly just feels like she's going to take money.
Yeah, I feel like she's going to take money, and I don't particularly like her 2 races since they got her over. I mean, she's fine, but like you, I don't like her running style that much. Now she's got to stretch out. There are things I don't like about her.
Let's take a look at our top selections for our Formulator race of the day. Mike, you're going with the 5, Glory to Kitten. You've already said if she's 8-1 like she is on the morning line, you bet her to win. Who else are you using?
I'm going to use her with the Mott horse that you like, Battlement. I just think she's a very logical horse in this race. I won't not cash if the Chad horse on the rail beats my horse, but I don't really like that horse. I'm going to use that horse like defensively.
I'm with you. That horse is like a B for me in any sort of ticket maker multiple race wager. I don't want Chad to beat me, but I just don't love the horse.
They tend to find a way to win those horses, which is very annoying about Chad, but he's so good. He finds the right races for these horses.
I'm going to go with Battlement on top, 6-1 on the morning line. I'd obviously better to win at that price. Just seems like a good spot for her to make her North American debut, and I went 7-5, 3-10 in our race of the day. If you're playing the Wednesday Aqueduct card from home, here's the deal for new DRF Bet subscribers. Head on over to drfbets.com/VIP and be a VIP for a week. You not only get a $300 bonus, but there are lots of other goodies available for new DRF Bet subscribers. Approximate post time for race number 7 at the Big A on Wednesday is 4:44 Eastern. Best of luck.